Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and More Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Found a scenario that I'm going to try out. It is another one of them SCP scenarios. There it is, 001, which I actually don't know anything about. So this will be new for me. When Day Breaks by Anomalous Ducky. I got confused for a second because I read that and I'm like, Anomalous Duck, really? Well, yeah, sure, it's Anomalous Ducky. In the year 2371, the SCP-001 event is about to start. The sun's heat has risen to unimaginable levels. SCP-001 is an Apollyon-class SCP that depicts an event about the sun casting an orange shadow over Earth and melting people in the area of the sun's rays into goo creatures that retain their intelligence. Yikes. In this scenario, the cure is about the amount of time until the 001 event ends. You must kill everyone in a certain amount of time. Ooh. Okay, so cure reduction probably does nothing for me. It's all about going fast, and everyone's turning into the necrovirus. So we're going to gooify everybody. And the more we gooify them, the more we send them to absorb everyone else into more orange goo. Is that how it works? I guess so. Metabolic Jump, Darwinist, Aquacyc Streamophile, and Dopamine Inhibitor are my standard setup. SCP-001, it has begun. Though not lethal yet, the sun will start to get hotter until the event starts killing. Alright, let's start off in Saudi Arabia. Perfectly fine start. Maybe India or China, technically. So we need to go for anything that gets the zombie infection going, like, now. Like, we want to get as many zombies as possible since we already are racing against the cure. There's no point in trying to hide ourselves, is what I'm learning here. Begin SCP-001. The event has started. News broadcasters started noticing that the sun is getting hotter and harder. Pick that up. Cold resist. Starts to resist the coldest places on the planet, heating them up as well. For symptoms, we have sunburns. The sun's heat causes people to be sunburned, increasing severity and detection. Again, why does detection matter? Like, I don't care if I have more severity. In fact, severity can only be a good thing, right? If this works the way that I'm thinking it does, but I don't really know. Maybe I'm wrong. Cold resistance, heat resistance, drug resistance, all pretty standard. All right, well, we need more DNA for all of this to work. What does it take to get the sunburn? 4 DNA. All right, that's reasonably effective for that cost. That leads to radiation. In hotter countries, the sun's heat causes radiation, there we go, to harm people. This would be very lethal for unpopulated hot countries. Sun heat 1. Gets more effective in the hot countries. This all suits my purposes just fine. Ice melt. Ice in the cold countries starts to melt due to the heat. Very effective in cold countries, but not in hot countries. Okay, well, I don't really need anything that makes the cold countries better until we get to them, so we'll want to focus all of our efforts in whatever's going to make the hot countries better. A lot of lethality kind of early on is potentially risky, and I'm not seeing any evidence that they are actually curing me already, so I assume this will work eventually. Lethal in populated hot countries seems fine. Then destroy all science. It cannot be cured by science anymore. It's up to you to kill humanity before the event ends. We have 15 days. Or, sorry, 15 points. What am I talking about? 15 days. No. I have no idea how long the event's going to be. It hasn't started yet. I kind of figured it would start on day 1. The sun gets even hotter, more effective in the hot countries, and cold countries start to become hot. All right, we'll pick that up. So we're going to be extremely effective now with heat resistance, is what I'm learning. No one's dead yet. Oh, nope. A couple people are dead now. Yeah, destroying all science. I guess this doesn't matter right now. Let's look at transmissions. We'll pick up the cold resistance. That leads to water evaporation. Become lethal later on. All right. Then we have ground heating. The ground heats up in hotter countries, and colder countries start to feel hotter outside as well, increasing land transmission. Hot air 1. So air infectivity, and then water evaporation 2. Water evaporates even more. Poor countries are very vulnerable. This will become lethal later on. Now, I don't know if when they say the lethality comes later on, does it mean that later down the tree it becomes lethal? Or is it like the bioweapon or something where, you know, you pick something up and then over time lethality ramps up? That's entirely possible. I have absolutely no idea. We're going to go for the air infectivity since that does tend to be good in the arid countries like Saudi Arabia, and I want to get on airplanes to start getting around a little bit faster. There we go. We're getting into Europe now. Ground heating, sure. Land transmission could certainly be helpful. Hot air number 2 increases air infectivity even further. I have no idea if water evaporation is going to be increasing my water transmission, or if that only affects, like, let's say, humid countries. That could be. Health guidelines for rich countries is terrible. Let's go ahead and pick up some drug resistance so that we can stop that. So, where's my zombies? I'm assuming that we're going to be able to zombify people, but thus far, it looks like all we're doing is killing them, and that's concerning to me. I guess we'll go for the ice melt. We need to destroy all science. Somewhere down the line, there's got to be a way to zombify people, right? We have to have the zombie hordes, and the sooner I can get that, the better. because I'll be able to direct them and do things. Though I will say, one of the problems of zombies is that they usually decay in hot weather, so I'm a little concerned about that. So destroying all science does nothing. Okay, so we have to work our way down this route. Let's go for hot air 2, then we can get hot air 3. I mean, the good news is we have enough severity that we are getting a good amount of DNA out of all this. So we're progressing pretty quickly. Extreme resistance for almost every climate. Perfect. Hidden infection 2 can infect hundreds of people without them knowing by infecting human cells. The anti-ice age. The world's temperature gets so hot that all ice in the world starts to melt along with the water. And then hidden infection appears to be the exact same thing. For some reason, we can access hidden infection 2 at the same time as hidden infection 1, which is often an oversight in the gating mechanisms by the author. But that's okay. Doop, 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 doop. Look at all that DNA. I love it. Okay. More lethality doesn't help me much. Let's go for more water evaporation. Still haven't unlocked whatever's going on down there. We don't really need the resistances, I don't think. That seems unnecessary. Let's go for the hidden infection. So we're greatly increasing the infectivity. Which, hey, awesome. But, again, freaking heck, where's my where's my goo? Where's my zombification? That's always one of the most stressful aspects of any necrovirus custom scenario, is finding the darn thing can be a pain. The end of history. There we go. Exposure to the sun is now very lethal. Zombies can be made by SCP-001. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, we found it. Sometimes it's really far down a tree, man. You never know. All right, we're going to grab that. So now people are going to start turning into zombies, which is great. I assumed... Wait. Oh, we had to get this one first. Okay, so we picked this up, and then we accidentally just mutated SCP-001's zombies, starting to turn people into gooey flesh zombies. Gross. All right, so everyone's now zombified, and we're going to reanimate the dead. We didn't be worried about ZCOM, and it doesn't look like there are a bunch of symptoms that actually are going to give me the extra severity I need for combat effectiveness. However, there is something up here. Drifting fermentation, ocean travel speed. Then we have structured travel, so we can actually start relocating. Then we have anti-zombie decay. Stronger in the sun so they don't decay. Sounds very important to me. Horde instinct, they can attack new lands. Yep, we'll pick that active ability up. Horde mentality, increasing the size. And dyskinetic movement. Coordinated with the horde, increasing the speed. All right, so what are we missing? A few islands over here, primarily. Let's go to, let's say, Iceland, probably. And also get into New Zealand. Just get that ball a-rolling. Global research is now focused on a cure. It's not supposed to matter, though, right? We just only have a certain amount of time before everything's over. So let's make sure we get into every country. Resistances are going to be very important so that I can spread through these countries very rapidly. In fact, going for extra drug resistance is probably very smart. We should get more horde mentalities. Then we have extreme strength for more severity. When ZCOM fires, that will be important. Hidden infection is probably good. Debating whether it's worth it. We need to get into Canada and get that started. I don't want to move out of Iceland yet. We don't have enough infectivity in those places. Let's see. We've got everything over here, so it's just land connections at this point. Let's get some started in, I guess, Colombia. Across the water. I could have done them from Cuba. That would have been better. Whatever. Anyway. All right, everyone's zombifying pretty aggressively. SCP turning people into zombies. We are almost halfway through our time, so we have to go fast. Hundreds of thousands of zombies. I mean, it's good, but I think we need to go for more cold resistance. And then, yeah, let's go for the strength. Cranial metastasis, allowing some decapitated corpses to reanimate. That gives me another active ability. I'm not sure we need that at the moment, though. We're not spreading nearly fast enough in places like Canada and Iceland. And that's probably what's going to get me killed. Let's pick up some cold resistance. Is ZCOM going to fire? Because I kind of assume it's going to, but so far we're not seeing it. All right, let's go for the extra infectivity with hidden infection 2. And hundreds of thousands of zombies. And you know what? Let's go for a little bit more heat resistance so we spread faster in places like Australia and stuff. Just get that out of the way. Okay, we haven't got anybody in Sweden yet. Can we get from Russia to Sweden? No. We can get some more into Finland, though. I'm just going to do that so we get a few 100,000 relocated. And there they are. They're in Germany. All right, the sooner we can get these guys to destroy Germany, probably the better. Let's have the French invade Germany, because that seems appropriate. You know, let's also have the UK. The Allies have never forgotten in their zombified state. Let's go ahead and get up into Greenland. I've been waiting too long at this point. Movement speed doesn't seem that important. Million strong would probably be pretty good, though. Just so I can get them up in there. Probably should have done that first, honestly, before doing this in Germany. But we're infecting them pretty well. Let's get a bunch more into Mexico, so we speed this process up a lot. There we go. I mean, we're making progress. Okay, now we got a few 100 million, a couple, just 100 million, there we go, in the United States. Let's get a bunch more into Canada to speed that up. There we go, beautiful. Okay, Finland, get into Sweden. What are we missing? Just Sweden, okay. So Germany is almost dead. So at this point, it's just about relocating the zombies and making sure that every country that's not fully infected yet gets infected pretty quickly. So get some from, let's say, Greece into Central Europe. There's a few million relocated. Mass migration, as we call it. Greenland, please invade. Iceland for me. Although, don't kill... Yeah, okay, there we go. Z-Com's been destroyed in Germany. They didn't last very long. I was actually a little concerned we might have emptied every zombie out of Greenland. We ended up being fine. Mexico to Central America. Bolivia to Brazil. And Colombia to Peru. That's going to speed that up pretty nicely. Norway needs a bit of work. So Sweden can invade Norway. And I think that's basically everything. Basically. Brazil, Italy. Yeah, I think that's everybody. All right, so we're actually about to fully infect the world. Well, that worked out pretty nicely. And we have plenty of time, sitting at 57%. Now, it's acting as if the cure progress has stopped. Okay, so that means that the cure doesn't actually work quite the way as advertised. I was expecting it to be a constant rate no matter what, right? But it looks like it is actually affected by the number of people or the number of countries that are contributing to the cure, and once you fully infect people, they stop affecting the cure, which means this definitely is not working as advertised. It's supposed to be a time limit. Fascinating. Okay, so a little bit of a mistake in how that's done. I'm not really sure how to improve it, right? Because I don't do a lot of custom scenario creation myself. I've never published one. I've only dabbled a little bit. I don't know what mechanic you'd have to rework in order to have a constant progress in the cure progress, but I have to imagine that is existing. I think you can do it. I just don't know how. So that needs to be reworked. Otherwise, the entire point of this scenario is kind of defeated, which is a little unfortunate. Nonetheless, the concept behind the scenario is certainly fun. Always on the march, try to turn everyone into goo. Got it. I'm totally down for that. Just needs to be reworked. 462 days, 57% cure progress, 49,366 points, and 2 stars. And at this point, I've already made my critiques. Do I recommend it? Yes. But I definitely want to see it turned into its full potential. Otherwise, again, it kind of defeats the entire purpose of the scenario. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.